DraftKings has recently made a proposal to PointsBets to buy their U.S. assets for $195 million. That's 30% more than the deal that PointsBets had with Fanatics. To me, it's an obvious deal to block Fanatics from getting into the market. Fanatics has been very public about wanting to get fully into the sports betting market before the 2023-2024 football season. With them not being able to purchase PointsBets USA, it's going to make it a little difficult for them to get in before this year's football season. This deal could cost DraftKings a total of $500 million. To me, this just doesn't seem like a great deal to try to stop a competitor from getting in the market who's going to eventually get in anyway. Tell me what you think down in the comments.
Matthew, I guess when I saw this report a few weeks ago, I thought this was a done deal. I thought that Fanatics was basically going to take over PointsBet. They get their footprint in New York, which is what they wanted. And then now, all of a sudden, this morning, we get this press release and then a report from the Action Network that DraftKings is interested in buying PointsBet. So what happened between then and now? And welcome back to the show as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a rare Friday check-in for me, but I'm happy to be here today to talk about this DraftKings news. And look, Craig, when Fanatics announced that they were going to buy PointsBet for $150 million, a lot of us just stopped and said, "Wow, that's it?" And so with the number that low on PointsBet's U.S. business, yeah, I think a lot of us just figured, that was that. Nobody else was interested. Fanatics was going to get it for, a song, and that would be that. They had their shareholder meeting for, 2 weeks from today, June 30th, to approve it. And then here comes DraftKings. Now, look, they're offering 30% more. They're offering about $195 million. But what's really important to note right now is that this was an unsolicited offer from DraftKings. There's been no negotiations with PointsBet. It's very different from what Fanatics did, which was Fanatics obviously got to negotiate with PointsBet. They got to negotiate with, some of the finer details of the deal and really make it a deal that worked out for both. Right now, DraftKings really is only saying, hey, 195 million, and let's start there and let's get into the negotiations. What those negotiations could entail could, mean the end of this. For example, in the Fanatics deal, PointsBet still gets to use its technology, still gets to use the in-play technology from Bannock that it bought for $43 million back in 2021. And they get to come back to the U.S. in, I think it was 18 months. We don't know what any of that will look like with the DraftKings deal. So I think that's why we saw from the PointsBet announcement that the board still recommends voting in favor for that Fanatics deal, simply because they haven't had a chance to really hear what DraftKings has to offer and what they really want to put on the table. DraftKings does have a couple of things going for it with the deal. They are licensed pretty much everywhere, if not everywhere, that PointsBet is licensed in the United States. That means it could get this deal done quicker because remember, Fanatics still has a lot of legwork to do when it comes to getting regulatory approvals just for its own platform, let alone the acquisition of PointsBet. So that clearly is a positive if PointsBet is looking to get shareholders this cash as quickly as possible. That would make a difference. DraftKings said that they could be ready to sign definitive agreements within 3 weeks. They've obviously had a lot of time to digest what Fanatics wants to do with the PointsBet deal. And if they're thinking something like that may be good, then it really wouldn't take too much negotiation.